You are likely waiting for a spark. You scroll through videos and listen to podcasts, hoping a specific sequence of words will finally provide the emotional energy required to start. You are waiting for a feeling to arrive before you take action. But the biological reality is that motivation is a volatile emotional state. It relies on dopamine spikes that vanish the moment you face a real obstacle or a night of poor sleep. It is a chemical rush, and like any rush, it is designed to be temporary. Linking your capacity to work with how you happen to feel creates a dangerous dependency. If the work only happens when the mood is right, then your future is being dictated by something as unpredictable as the weather or your last meal. This dependency leads to a cycle of high-intensity bursts followed by months of total stagnation. You start a project with manic energy, but the second the novelty wears off, the execution stops. You are left with a dozen half-finished ideas and zero progress. Relying on inspiration is the primary reason people stay exactly where they are. It is the mechanism that ensures an individual remains in a state of constant preparation without ever reaching the finish line. Consider the high performers in New York or the builders in Austin. If success required constant inspiration, these people would be unable to function 90% of the time. They wake up stressed, tired, with zero inspiration, yet their output never wavers. These individuals do not have a larger supply of motivation than you do. They operate on a behavioral framework that removes feelings from the equation entirely. They have learned to act in the absence of desire. Think of motivation as a starter motor. It initiates the engine, but cannot power the vehicle long-term. In the January gym rush, initial crowds vanish. By mid-February, that emotional high flatlines. Without a disciplined secondary system, this friction gap becomes where most dreams are abandoned. Motivation is a fair-weather friend. It is mathematically certain to abandon you at the exact moment the actual difficulty begins. The solution used by elite performers is a concept called decoupling. This is the deliberate process of separating a physical action from the emotional state of the person doing it. You learn to treat your feelings as background noise rather than instructions. Instead of waiting for the desire to work, you build an architecture of non-negotiable systems. You set the time, you set the place, and the quota. The execution becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth, something you do regardless of whether you are excited about it. An amateur asks, "Do I feel like doing this today?" and waits for an answer. A professional recognizes that the question is irrelevant. The schedule is the only authority that matters. Discipline is a behavioral system designed to bypass human fallibility. It takes the decision-making process out of the moment of exhaustion and places it into a predetermined plan. You will have mornings where you wake up feeling completely hollow. Your brain will offer dozens of logical reasons to delay the work or lower your standards. You will feel deeply unwilling to perform the tasks you once felt passionate about. The goal is not to ignore these feelings or to try and fix your mood. The goal is to acknowledge the exhaustion and then proceed with the work anyway. You are practicing the ability to move while under the weight of negative emotion. Every time you execute a task while feeling uninspired, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with self-regulation. You are training your brain to recognize that your behavior is not subject to your mood. Real control is achieved when your output remains consistent, whether you are having the best day of your life or the most difficult one. Substantial wealth, physical health, and the ability to trust your own judgment are the results of years of invisible repetition. These outcomes are built on the 400th hour of data analysis, or the morning run you did when your legs felt like lead. As you accumulate disciplined actions, your internal data shifts. By repeatedly acting in the absence of motivation, you provide your brain with evidence that you are a reliable operator. You move from trying to be productive to simply being a person who follows through. This creates a level of self-respect that is grounded in evidence. You trust your own word because you have a multi-year track record of keeping promises to yourself, especially when it was inconvenient. The value of discipline is that your performance is no longer a question of willpower. It has become your default setting. You have established a durable model of behavior that functions independently of external or internal inspiration. Stop treating your emotional state as a requirement for progress. You do not need to feel good to do good work. You can be tired, You can be bored, and you can still move forward. Motivation provides the initial push, but discipline is the force that dictates where you will stand 10 years from now. It is the only reliable way to close the gap between who you are and who you intend to become. The choice is present every single morning. You can negotiate with your fatigue, or you can follow the system. Like, subscribe, and comment below if you choose discipline over motivation.